I think, guys, I owe you an apology. First of all, because I'm filming in a bathroom and the acoustics are horrible in here, but this is the best I can do with the hotel room that I'm staying at, so thank you guys so much for accepting that. But then too, I went on a little tirade against AMD a few days ago. Gosh dang it, AMD, this is why we can't have nice things. This is why NVIDIA can rage around with their GeForce Partner Program, throwing you out of the market, making sure that you can't be competitive because they want to hog all of the glory and all of the market share because you can't provide us with new GPUs. I maybe was a little set off by the fact that I did not appreciate the fact that we were getting a rebrand of a rebrand of a rebrand, and that we were like, there's no new GPUs coming out from AMD and everything is just so screwy. And yes, I know it's OEMs, and you know what? I don't care. I think that just makes it worse because people buying OEMs will be even less informed than people who are buying computer components. At least that's speculated. That's a huge stereotype. Maybe I don't want to go there, but I'm gonna keep that in the video. Anyways, there's somebody buying a Dell desktop that says it has an RX 580X versus somebody who's trying to buy an HP desktop that has an RX 580. They're going to go with the Dell desktop because it has an X. It's supposed to be faster. It's no faster. It's the gosh dang same thing. Rebranding with an X lineup, rebranding with an X actually means something for a lot of people who are used to the fact that AMD used to rebrand with X to indicate faster performance, and now it doesn't mean that. Anyways, so part of my rant was justified. Another part of it may be a little rushed. Yeah, I'm still feeling the rage inside, so just give me some slack. I apologize if I offended anybody, but we've got a new article here saying AMD RX 600 series GPU Project Zen detailed. Radeon on steroids to amp clock speeds and efficiency. So we got Radeon on steroids. We got GPU Project Zen, which we've already had Project Zen, which that was the CPU version, which became Zen. They just kept the name, and then it was Ryzen. Anyways, before we get into discussing the article, I just want to inform every person who cares that we are now going to have the UFD Tech videos available as podcasts. I know a lot of you have said that you can't keep up with the videos because it's just too much, but you can listen to it. So we have podcast links down in the video description that will allow you to listen while you're on the go if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing here at UFD Tech. You're gonna miss the gratuitous facial and hand gestures, but the idea is just that you can stay up to date with what's going on. So we have that link in the video description if you want to check us out on podcast. And also don't forget that we also do UFD Deals, which is our daily tech deals video where I go through the internet and we scour it and we talk about the latest deals that we can find that can maybe help save you a few bucks. Again, the link for that will be in the video description, or you can subscribe right up there in the top right hand corner. So now that plugging is all out of the way, let's talk about the actual details of this. So this article is talking about the fact that we are taking the lid off of what was a project that is unnamed. However, in some circles, it's known as Project Zen for a few reasons that will become clear in a few moments. So to understand what this project is about, we'll have to rewind a little bit to what actually has led to it. Late last year, the Radeon Technologies Group saw the departure of its leader, Raja Koduri. He went to Intel, in case you're wondering. Koduri was the head of all things graphics, blah, blah, blah. Lisa Su took over. Lisa Su then implemented 2 people, blah, blah, blah. All really important details for you to know what's going on in the AMD world. Those 2 people that she replaced him with will be accelerating the graphics department quite a bit. So one of the most significant changes that has occurred after Raja's departure is the assembly of a Zen team of engineers at the Radeon Technology Group, whose sole purpose is to drastically improve the performance of AMD's GPU designs by working alongside the company's established engineering teams at RTG, which is a really great thing because that's the biggest problem that AMD has is, one, they have nothing at the top end that can compete with NVIDIA, but then when they compete on a price to performance level, besides the RX 580, when you get above that, when you're in Vega 56 and 64 territory, it's a huge pile of meh. Sure, there's a few games, there's always those people who say Vega's all great. Didn't you see the Sea of Thieves benchmark? Didn't you see the Final Fantasy 15 benchmark? Didn't you see this one benchmark that really proves that it's actually okay? Far Cry 5, that's the one I'm thinking about that I couldn't get to. Far Cry 5! Remember Far Cry 5, Red? Far Cry 5 shows that is power! Don't you know? My friends, just because a game that has come out a year after the graphics card has already been out, and it's just that one game and a few others, it's the exception to the rule, not the rule itself, that it doesn't matter. Like, the exception is there. Yes, I can accept the fact that Vega 56 performs better than a 1070 in a lot of games, but not really the 1070 Ti, which is its direct price competitor. And then also Vega 64 is competing with the 1070 Ti and the 1080, but then also the 1080 Ti because it's the top SKU. And if you want to buy a Vega 64 liquid cooled, that costs the same price as a 1080 Ti, and it doesn't get you the exact same performance. So why aren't we comparing it there? 1080 Ti versus Vega 64. Not a whole lot of games where Vega 64 are going to touch the 1080 Ti now, is there? Anyways, the point being said, AMD needs some juicing in their the Radeon, the Radeon on steroids, maybe like the title has said. So that's AMD kind of needs that. The article continues. We're told that the new team was put together around October of last year, includes several key engineers who had brought out AMD's Zen CPU, and one of the leading figures for Radeon Project Zen is none other than Suzanne Plummer. Suzanne Plummer, who was a key architect behind the company's incredibly popular Ryzen CPUs. Incredibly popular. I mean, the things are coming out about them that I can't say anything about. So the new team has been put into place to inject the company's upcoming GPU products with a dose of engineering steroids, so to speak, and leapfrog the company's original GPU roadmap. It's about to bring Zen CPU project to the GPU side and innovate in two key areas in an effort to make upcoming GPU products more competitive than originally planned. Those two key areas would be significantly improving the clock speeds of AMD's GPU designs and pushing them to be more power efficient, which, holy crap, if you want me to be triggered about something, it's the power efficiency crap that AMD pulled when they released the RX 480. That was their marketing campaign. Their marketing campaign was performance per watt. After the GTX 1060 had already come out, guess what? It's kind of the same performance at a lot less power draw. You can't market performance per watt after the 1060 exists with the RX 480. Just wasn't happening. And then there was the issue with them drawing too much power from the PCI Express slots. Big no-no there. Your marketing team failed massively there. And improving efficiency is something that they should really do, because all RX 580 was a rebadge of RX 480 where they increased the TDP, didn't make anything more efficient. They could have kept everything at the same clock speed and made everything a little bit more efficient, but instead they were like, screw it, let's just up the TDP, up the clock speeds and try to get a faster card. It still just kind of only competes with the GTX 1066 gig. It's not really touching a GTX 1070 anywhere. So what's the point in that? Like, it would have been better if you just saved on power efficiency, lowered the price, and got a more consumer-friendly card out there. Anyways, that's my thing. So this project was told to be put in paces by CEO Lisa Su, who expects the results in as early as a year. So if this happened in October of last year, we could be seeing in October of this year something coming out. So we're hearing a lot of chatter in the private channels about how the company's post-GCN all-new architecture is going to be Radeon Zen, so to speak. But if what we've been hearing about Radeon Project Zen is also accurate, we might see some of the new team's results with the Radeon RX 600 series much earlier than 2020. And then there's a little chart at the bottom showing that the architecture for the AMD 600 series is going to be purely Vega on the 12 nanometer process, with HBM2 coming out in 2018, which would be this year, which is the thing that we have been waiting for, that AMD talked about last year. It was on the roadmap that we were getting a Vega refresh of 12 nanometer for the consumer level, and then the Vega refresh for 7 nanometer was not coming to the consumer level, even though that is on the roadmap. It's not for the general pleb like you and me. So we're supposed to be getting 12 nanometer Vega for plebs. Like, 12 nanometer means pleb. That's exactly what it translates to in Latin. Obviously, this is not really revelatory information. This is just something that we should be considering for things that might be coming out. We're still supposed to be anticipating an RX 600 series coming this year, and hopefully with some of the implementation of being faster clock speeds with better efficiency, which is also one of the downfalls that happened with Vega, was the fact that it is pushing a ton of TDP for not as much performance. And that's another complaint. It's just like, oh, a 1080 Ti, what's its TDP? What's a Vega 64 liquid cooled TDP? Oh my goodness, they're not even in the same ballpark. You can get two 1080 Ti's for that. Roughly, not really. Anyways, you could get more than a single 1080 Ti's TDP to fit within a Vega 64's TDP. So like, power consumption really matters, especially in the case of you trying to use more than one GPU at the same time, which, if that's what this rumored Zen stuff is supposed to be, which is Navi, which is something that a lot of people on this channel have definitely been discussing and we've been talking about before, is that the Infinity Fabric setup that AMD has implemented in the CPU, which allows two different core complexes on a processor. So that's the idea that a Ryzen CPU actually isn't 8 cores. So the Ryzen 7 1700 isn't an 8-core processor, it's two 4-core processors that have really fast lanes of communication between them called Infinity Fabric. And if we can bring that to the GPU setup where you get GTX 1080 level performance on this one and GTX 1080 level performance on this one, and they communicate like this really fast. If they communicate like that really fast, that means that we could get GTX 1080 SLI on a single card, reading as a single card, because a Ryzen 1700 doesn't read as two 4-core CPUs, it reads as an 8-core CPU. It performs mostly the same as an 8-core from Intel, except for IPC deficiencies. Obviously, there's scenarios where it's not as fast, but you can code around those and you can get programs designed to actually take utilization of the fact that those lanes exist. And it would be the same for Navi. I would expect that first generation Navi, the first 6 months are gonna be a huge issue, just like they kind of were with Vega, where we're not seeing any of the actual performance being coded into the game, so we're not getting the true potential out of them, but it's something that can probably be better in the longer term. The issue with Vega in the longer term is that no gamer is really getting their hands on them. They're all going to miners and they were all sold out on day one, so like, that's a huge issue. That's something that AMD should also maybe look into fixing, is just their production line. Maybe actually have enough GPUs out on launch that people can get their hands on them so that we could actually use them for gaming. I don't know, maybe something like that. That would be a good idea, Lisa. So it still looks like we should be looking for RX 600 this year. AMD is gonna be working on Zen with power efficiency and higher clock speeds in mind. That's what we should be anticipating and hopefully getting this year. But I wanna know what you all think. Are you excited for these new implementations that AMD might be bringing to their RX 600 series? Are you looking forward to new mid-tier, midstream offerings from AMD that can replace the RX 580? Because I'm freaking waiting for it. I want a card that's better than a GTX 1060 by like a good significant amount, because the 1160 is not gonna be too far away. So they're gonna need it in order to even stay relevant in the current GPU scheme of things. Anyways, let me know your thoughts either down in the community Discord, top link in the video description, or in the comments down below. I want to hear from you there. I want to have a chat. This is all about having a conversation. And yeah, last hotel. That is probably something that's pretty, last hotel for a while at least. So yeah, no official details that I can really talk to you guys about yet. There's another video that's coming out that I'm gonna film right after this in this bathroom. But yeah, so last hotel, thank you guys for sticking with me on this US road tour. It's been tough being away from South Africa, but I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given me with these videos that we're producing and putting out. Obviously, it's a different style, different technique, different editing process. Like, everything's different, but you guys have been the same. You've been so supportive and so loving, and I really appreciate it. And that's what makes this channel so great, and why I enjoy staying up till 12:10 recording videos about AMD. Yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, don't forget to smash the like button, get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content, podcast, UFD deals. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Cheers.